Hi there guys, it's Tom000123. As you can see, finally I am on Ghosts. Yes, I know, I apologise I wasn't on there before. Usually me, Tears Through Rules and Blue Pancake, we are at the midnight release. We have been ever since Modern Warfare 2. We've always been there at Game in Huntingdon. Unfortunately my work commitments meant we couldn't make it this time, but we got it now and I've been playing a few games. I love reaction on Twitter and social media sites and things like Facebook and other review sites like IGN and things like that. When they post their reviews, they're like, "What? How can you give this game such a good review? It's really, really bad. And why have you given it such a bad review? It should be 10." I admit I have been guilty of that in the past, but this time I've held off. And a lot of big people, a lot of YouTubers like Only Use My Blade and Keemstar, they're saying that this is the COD killer. This is the worst Call of Duty that they've ever played. Everyone's been complaining on Twitter about dying in dying in like 2 bullets, being spawn trapped, and everything like that. But I must admit, even though my KD's not 2 yet, I love it. I think it's amazing that I can't really put it into words. It's weird because, in my opinion, Treyarch and Infinity Ward have had their own individual styles. It's actually, I don't know, that's not my opinion, that's just fact. They've both had their individual styles. People are Infinity Ward people, then there are people that are Treyarch people. They'll swear by each other and they'll fight each other about which ones are best. This is my take on it. Infinity Ward are always very good at making small to medium sized maps. Now, by what I mean by that is they're very good at making tightly contested corridors, crisscrossing paths and adding layers on, so like upstairs, middle and then underneath the map. Tight corridors, so shotguns, SMGs have always been running riots in Infinity War games. Treyarch, however, have done the opposite way. They've always been sort of long range to medium range maps. By that I mean you just go back to all the way back to World at War. You've got your CeeLo, you've got your Outskirts, you've got your Cliffside. That's an iconic map in Call of Duty in my opinion. That's one of the best maps alongside Overgrown that I have ever played in a Call of Duty game. It flows so nicely. There's no there are no sort of like set points where there's one side that's better than the other, and that's what I think Treyarch's strength lies in, is that sort of big open area maps and even vehicles they had. But this time with Black Ops 2 and now with Ghosts, I do notice a distinct shift between each big studio. So now Infinity Ward have now got, look at the size of this map. Look at the size of it. In Black Ops 2 there will be a map called Multi-Story Car Park and it will just be this bit and that will be a map. Whereas on Black Ops 2 you've got maps like Hijacked, which, you know, Nuketown, yes, was a bit of a joke map and they brought it back in as a special, but to make one like Hijacked, just, it boggles me. And every other map, like even Slums and Standoff, they were small maps and they didn't flow very nicely together, and it took me a long time to actually get used to it. But these maps, they fit my gameplay style perfectly. Like, you'll see me using a lot of assault rifles, the sniper rifles and the assault snipers. I think they're combat things, whatever they're called, assault, whatever, you know, the cross between sniper rifles and assault rifles. It's that sort of long to mid-range gunfights that I will win a lot of. You'll see me lose quite a few, you know, close-range gunfights because my reaction time, I'm not yet used to this. I mean, there's 20 different sensitivities, which I still don't quite get. I mean, I'm on 12 at the moment, and I think that's fine. I think it's just so, you know, they've been able to tweak it a little bit more and give you a little bit more, be able to tweak it more towards your style. Rather than having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 all the way up to 10, you've now got 20, which means 8, 9, 10 will roughly be the same sensitivity, but there will be a small change in each one. The game itself, Ghosts, yes, stop talking about the maps, other games. Ghosts is, at the moment, really enjoying it. The maps flow really nicely, plenty of places to explore. Yes, campers are going to be a big problem, the lack of theatre mode as well. We understand, I think I understand why they've done it, to free up a lot more space for the lag, for the connection, and to free up a lot of space in that disc. But I played a game not too long ago on Ghost where one of my team members was going 0 for 31, and my only, you know, explanation for that was that he was boosting. Yes, I don't think they've got tactical insertion on this, so it is harder for people to boost. But again, it's still an issue, and without theatre mode we can't name and shame these people like we have done in previous videos. The only way to do it is to actually physically follow them around when they try and get into the position where they're spawn killing or they're killing headshotting with their friends. Yes, it's going to be an even more boring way to play the game because you got to wait for your opposite number to come back into the same position. But never mind. Onto the good stuff. You're about to see one of the most ridiculous kill streaks that I've seen in a Call of Duty. It's a thing called Maniac. It's a Juggernaut. It's not quite an imposing Juggernaut suit as it was on Modern Warfare 3, big muscular thing. But it's still pretty terrifying. It's like 2 meters tall, and it's running at you with you're like, oh, it's only got a knife, and all of a sudden it lunges at you and you're dead, and you try and run away, and the description says there is no running away from the Maniac. It's like, holy shit. There was a game where I played where the winning kill count was this guy running into a group of 4 of us and just knifing every single one of us with us going, firing our guns randomly in his general direction. You see with the guard dog. Now, see, a lot of people are saying that the guard dog they won't use once they get higher kill streaks, but it's a good middle kill streak to have, the dog. Because if you are in a situation like I am now, where I'm in the middle of the enemy team, there will be people spawning in front of me, there are people spawning behind me. That dog gives you that little bit of... Look, there, I hit him with the throwing knife and he didn't die. I can only assume that's to do with the armour. I'm not too sure yet, but I'm sure there'll be a YouTube video on there somewhere. But yeah, about the dog, I like it because also, not only does it protect you in an area, if you run into a building full of enemies that you know are full of enemies, it gives you a little bit of security that you won't just get shot in the back. You will do from long range, but you won't do from short range. That dog will just leap, and it is a one-hit kill with that dog. But it also, if you are waiting, if you can hear people moving around, or if you can't hear people moving around and you think there's someone up there, like they're set off a piece of equipment or something, the dog will actually growl if it senses anyone close to you. So not only does it give you that little bit of security about running into buildings and giving you that covering your back, covering your six, if I'm talking technical terms, it actually lets you know where enemies are near. So it's like a portable motion sensor, really, that kills people. I mean, what's not to like about that? The Juggernaut suit itself is not totally overpowered. It really isn't. I was killed. I was lucky. I was very, very lucky with this streak. I think I got about maybe a 15 kill streak in this suit, but I was very, very lucky. Usually, if you try and run at people, they are pretty sensible enough to shoot you in the head, and they kill you relatively quickly. I mean, like explosive devices like the IED. I really like that take on the Claymore. Instead of having a 180 field of vision, it gives you a 360 field of vision. But again, look at this. Look at this guy. He's like, oh, I'm in a corner. There's nothing I can do. But he stopped shooting me, or she stopped shooting me. If she continued to shoot me, there was a very good chance that I would die. And it's not overly it's not an overtly overpowered kill streak like I thought it was. Like I said, it's a 10, so it is pretty hard to get. These are pretty useless. The sat nav things, I like to call them tom-toms. Unless you're camping, there's not really much use for them. So in this game, you're going to be running around a lot trying to find the enemy in these big open spaces. So maybe put it on an objective is my sort of thing. If you're one of those guys that likes to capture an objective and then make sure you hold on to it, stick one of those down there. Lets you know when there's one near them. Go back, kill them, sorted. It was here I was gutted because I was on 25 and 2. I think I was in the end when I died. No, 29 and 2, 30 and 2. Wow, I was doing well. But yeah, this map is really, really good. It gives you long field of vision. It gives you, though it does give you close encounters. It's not overtly just medium to long range. It does give you that sort of like these corridors here towards flags. You will notice now that I go on a bit of a run with the old guard dog back then. I had like 3 guard dogs at my disposal, and I used every single one of them. Very easy to kill these dogs. Now this is a Trinity rocket. It's a take on the Hellstorm / Predator missile. Instead of having just one, I didn't realise this. I pressed R1 to zoom in, but you get 3 rockets. You can fire 3 rockets from that one pod. Unfortunately, this map, there's a lot of it that's indoors, so it wasn't that effective. But I can imagine on an open-ended map, it's going to be lethal because it's actually a cross between a lightning strike, a predator missile, and a hellstorm strike. You can tell you can tell where you want to place it, and you get 3 rockets. It's insane. I haven't actually unlocked any more of the kill streaks yet. Like I say, you progress through levels very slowly, which is something that I really like. I don't like on Black Ops 2. I was through to bit of camping there. Didn't know what he was doing. I was through on Black Ops 2 to Prestige Master in 6.5 days, I think. And after that, there was like nothing else I could unlock. So actually to progress through levels slowly and then prestige different characters as well, I think that's fantastic. It gives you that replayability multiplayer. that yes, you had before because it was multiplayer and you had challenges and competition, but in terms of actually playing for yourself and having certain things to unlock and level up, you never had that sort of depth before. And the amount of things you can use to customise your character, you can make every single character different. Nice bit of lad there. So you can have like 5 women if you want to, 5 men, you can have all men, you can have all women, and there's plenty of combinations, so they never actually ended up looking like the same. So that's a fantastic bit of replayability for multiplayer that I think maybe Black Ops 2, that customisation Black Ops 2 should have had, maybe could have had, and maybe didn't exploit to its full potential. Yes, you had the camouflages, and Black Ops 1 you had the face paint, for crying out loud, and they removed that for Black Ops 2, which I don't really get. Not a lot of people use them, but it was again just a fun thing to use for yourself. Didn't have to care what the opposition thought you looked like. As long as you thought you looked cool, that's all that mattered. Haven't actually, like I say, I haven't actually unlocked many of the kill streaks yet because of my level. So one I am looking to unlock is the IMS. Again, so I'm a very defensive sort of player in domination. I like to capture an objective and then hold on to it. I don't like to capture an objective, run to the next objective and allow the enemy to sneak in there and get it straight back. I like to have things there. That's why I've got my IEDs. I've got my 2 motion sensor sort of things. It's a fantastic change actually to the motion sensor. Rather than giving you a continuous 360-degree radiation or radius of spotting people actually have to run into it and then they're visible through walls and on your map for like a couple of seconds instead of being there permanently, which I think is a great twist. Again, trying to innovate. Should have killed that guy on the top left. Trying to innovate, trying to make changes to it. Trying to keep things fresh. You know, they've gone for a completely new look on Modern Warfare. They knew that we would think, oh, it's going to be close, it's going to be SMGs. They've actually taken a lot of us by surprise with this large scale maps. And when the next gen console comes out, and you can have 12, is it 12v12 you can have? Or you get ground war in, which is 9v9, sorry. So again, these maps, that's when I think these maps are really going to shine. It's when you get 9v9 on these maps. There's a lot more people, and places that usually would be empty would actually be filled with people. So again, really looking forward to seeing how they cope with 9v9. And I missed that guy, and that is the end of the game. So in conclusion, what can I say? It's so far loving it. Fantastic game, suits my style of play perfectly. A lot of people will have to adjust because a lot of people are used to running around with an SMG, running into a room full of people and getting 4 or 5 kills. Not going to happen on this, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen. You've actually got to plan your attacks. You've got to know where the opposition are, and that's when you end up with scores like 35 and 8, 40, 50 plus is when you plan your attacks and actually think about it instead of mindly running in. So I hope you enjoyed this first ever dose video, first impressions video. We'll be bringing more to you, maybe as developments and updates are done, and when we start getting higher up levels, and there will hopefully be montages as well. That's one thing we always hope to bring to Call of Duty, are new twist on montages, new effects. So stay tuned guys, I hope you enjoyed that video and we'll see you soon. Cheers, bye.